Hi guys, Debbie here. Welcome to this video and to my channel if you're new here. So today's video is going to be a little tutorial and for me a first impressions. I think I'm a bit late to the game to do a first impressions, but it is my first impressions of the palette I'm going to be using. But more so it's just a tutorial of a look that you could wear for Christmas, for a party, or even in the daytime really if you don't mind some shimmer and sparkle. But I wanted to do a cranberry and gold look, so something nice and festive. So I'm wearing my cranberry and gold dress. I'm going out for dinner today with my team from work, so I just thought it would be a nice time to film. And I bought this palette, which is the Strawberry Dream from Lunar Beauty in the Black Friday sale. It's absolutely stunning. It's more stunning than I expected now I've actually got it in my hands. What I'm going to do today is stick to sort of this shade because it's quite a cranberry sort of shade, and then I'm going to have gold on the lid and probably this shimmer as well. Not quite sure about the lower lash line yet, but I'm going to keep it in this sort of zone here because I want to make it a very festive appropriate cranberry and gold look. So without further ado, I'll scooch you in and we'll get started. So I'm going to start with the shade Strawberry Moon, as I say, this matte here, and build that up in my typical wing shape that I like to do. Definitely going to go for that kind of shape today. So this is my first palette from the brand, so I'm super excited to see what the formula is like because I've heard so many great things about Lunar Beauty's formula. I wanted to get the Moon Spell in the Black Friday sale on Beauty Bay, but you had to be really quick off the mark for that. So I've come to the conclusion now, if that comes back on the site, whatever the cost of it, I've just got to get it before it goes again. So I was trying to get it at a discount, but that's just not working out for me. But I got this one at 50% off, so I paid £24, which for 15 shades, and I can already see that this matte is going on really, really nicely. It's not patchy at all, and I'm only dipping very lightly into the pan because I want to build up the shape, but I'm getting the shape that I like very easily from this shadow so far. I love all the little moon shapes that are embossed on the mat, so pretty. It's just the middle row that has those and they're so gorgeous. I think Manny's really onto something with this brand because the packaging feels like quality, like it's heavy in that sort of reassuringly nice quality way, but it's also not too bulky for storage. You've got in this palette, I would say 5 traditional mattes, and then you've got one kind of glitter shade, which is the shade Pure Diamond, which is a bluey shift to it, and I'm not going to be using that today because I wanted to keep things in the more cranberry pink kind of zone, but that looks stunning. It's definitely going to be used with those blues at some point. Right, I've got the shape down. This is my favourite shape for anything where I want to feel a little bit more glamorous or whatever. I think this sort of winged out kind of look for me, almost graphic, is really working well for me at the moment. And it's pretty easy to create. I'm using a kind of angled fluffy brush here. This one's from Spectrum, the B04, and just using the angle of the brush to help me achieve the angle that I want. Now I've got that shape down, I can fill in a bit more with another fluffier brush. So I'm going in with the S2 from Kaleidos. I'm going to fill in to make that super opaque, and I probably will darken the inner corner of my lid with another shade as well, but I just wanted to get the shape down, as I say, and fill it in before I start. This brush from Kaleidos is becoming one of my favourites because it's small enough to get into my crease. It's the smaller of the two fluffy brushes that they do, and it It's small enough but fluffy enough for me, for my eye shape and the amount of space I've got. I have got a fair bit of eye space though. Right, to build up some intensity, I'm going in with Storm Cloud now, so the brown in the palette. It's nice to have a deepening up shade that's not black as well. It's like a deep brown. I think it's going to work really well for bringing that intensity into the look. It's a brownish tone, but it's got some burgundy about it, so it's definitely going to work to intensify in that corner. Using my Spectrum A12, another one of my favourite brushes, because this one's fluffy but small, so I like a large fluffy pencil brush really. It really allows you to have some control but to be able to blend at the same time, if that makes sense. It's probably the opposite way to how a lot of people build up their shades. I don't know, it's a bit of a strange technique I do, I think, in these outer corners, but I find it easier because then I've got some of the colour peeking above it. It looks like I've spent quite a bit of time blending in that corner when I haven't. Now I don't want to keep things too graphic, so to blend out around this I'm going to go in with the shade Cloudy, because it's got like a bit more of a purpley undertone than the one next to it, which has got more of a peachy undertone. So I think the lilac in this will blend well with those pinks that I've laid down, but it will just help soften that outer corner just slightly. And I'm going to take that shade above the colours that we've laid down in my crease. So I'll still have, to some degree, a bit of a harsh line there, because it is quite a graphic shape, but I'm just softening it on the top line just slightly there really. And I think that colour's working well to do that. I'm loving these shadows so far. It's making me wish I'd have got into this brand sooner. The first palette you brought out there, Life's a Drag, didn't interest me because it had a lot of the rainbow colours I'd already got in my Sugar Pill collection, and I figured they'd probably be better because nothing really matches those for me in terms of like your really rainbow brights. So I thought I've got those already, and then the rest were neutral, so I was like, don't know if this is the perfect palette for me. And then this one, because then there was a Greek inspired one, again very neutral, and that was last year's Christmas release. But then we brought this one out in the summer. I remember seeing my friend Nerdy Girl Makeup using it, and I really wanted it then. She did some beautiful looks with that, and using that blue diamond shade as well, and I was like, I need this palette in my life. But I was trying to wait until it went on sale, which it didn't in the summer. And then the Moonspell came out and I was really hooked on the brand then. I was like, that is just such a interesting colour story. But as I say, I got this one because it was a bargain price more than anything. Just dipping back into Strawberry Moon, so the first shade that we started in the crease with. Just want to make sure I've kept that colour running through the crease and not lost it too much with blending. Okay, today we're going to do a traditional cut crease, so my Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer and my cut crease brush from Sigma. Haven't done that technique for a long time because I've been using glitter glue to cut my crease, but just fancied to do it today. So I'm not going to cut too high, so I still want that pink to show. I'm cutting slightly above my natural crease. And where those meet, I'm just going to tap that out just slightly. And I think I've gone slightly higher on this eye than the other eye, which I tend to do, but we'll sort that out. I'm just tapping that edge out, just to bring that cut crease down a tad. I've got a very small micro kind of brush here. This one's by Crown. Just going into that strawberry moon, and I'm just defining the edge of that just to bring that down a tad. Actually, that's working well to define that cut crease, so I'm going to do that on the other side as well, actually. So now for the shimmer on the lid, I'm going to go in with Horizon, the gold. That's a beautiful true gold, so perfect for what I was going for here. When I say true gold, it's not a antique gold or a dirty sort of olivey gold. It's just gold, and it's really, really beautiful. So I'm doing that over half of my lid to the centre basically. So filling in from the very corner and out to the centre. When I've laid that down, I might re-intensify again that pink across the top just to make sure it can be seen above. But that's beautiful, and as you guys know, if you've watched my other videos and you've been following me for a while, I normally love to pack shimmers over glitter glue because it just gives that intensity, but this is just over wet concealer and it's popping really, really well. Okay, I'm going to flip the brush over, and then the other shimmer I'm going to use is Ruby Sky, so that one there. And that's going to be going just next to it there. So I'm dragging that onto the gold and into my lid shade matte that I've already laid down. When you see this palette, you think summertime, strawberries. I think it's lending itself really well to being a festive palette. And I love that about palettes, if you can just think of them as colours and not think of them as this is the type of palette for this or whatever. Like for example, I used Jeffree Star's Mini Breaker palette for a Halloween look, but that came out in the summer. But the colours are orange and the purple, so it just works. I'm going to go back in with Storm Cloud and just make sure I've kept that intensity in the outer corner. You can't see the shimmers peeking through there. A little bit of brow bone highlight I'm going to go in with Lightning. This is a large shade at E60 from Sigma, but it's got a real point on it and it really helps to get into that brow arch. Now for my lower lash line, I'm going to take Anger Mood by Linda Hallberg in the outer part, and I'm going to take Ori Flash by Linda Hallberg in the inner part. So red into gold. I haven't got a cranberry coloured pencil really, but I think this will work okay once I've got shadows over it. So I'm just taking it just into that inner corner and also on my lower lash as well. So it's just giving me a base there. And then in with Ori Flash. Any gold pencil, if you have a gold pencil, would do this. So on my lower lash line and into my waterline with that. Now it's just a case of setting those with the shadows. So I think I'm going to use the shade Sunset to set the red, and obviously I'm going to use the gold shade to set the gold. So I'm just using a pencil brush and just really tapping over that shadow. I don't think that's quite dark enough, so I'm going to go in with Strawberry Moon, which is the original crease colour that we laid down. Kind of like this red in retrospect. It would have been nice to have a pink pencil, but I think it's brought a bit of festive to the look, a little bit of interest actually. And then with another pencil brush, in with Horizon, the gold shimmer, just to set that gold pencil on the lower lash line, so we've got the gold wrapping around. So that's the look right now. I'm just going to hop off camera to do mascara and a lip for the look. I'm not going to put any eyeliner on because I just want to make sure that I can see all of that gold. I don't want to cover that up at all. So I'll be right back with you in a moment to show you the finished look and also give you a few thoughts on the palette. Okay guys, so here's the finished look. Really happy with how it turned out. I think that pairing of the gold and the pink has just worked so well, and it's so festive but not in a sort of red, green and gold way, you know, bringing in that cranberry to something a little bit different for Christmas, and I love that sort of look. Paired it with a Jeffree Star liquid lip in the shade Hi How Are Ya, which when I got, I was kind of a little bit disappointed it wasn't as red as I thought, but for this look it works perfectly because it's pink but with a, it's got a sort of red to it, but it's more on the pinky side, and it's got a little bit of micro glitter in it, so it works perfect for this. So I'll just give you a rundown of my thoughts on the shades in the palette then. So I used Storm Cloud, I used Strawberry Moon, and I used Sunset. So those three as my mattes in my crease and in my outer wing. Love those. They went down super easily, blended really nicely, and blended out with that shade at the top, Cloudy. That really worked well, and I used that shade as my brow bone highlight, and it's just did that little bit of sparkle there. Well, the standout for me was the shimmers actually. The mattes are brilliant, but I love the shimmers, particularly the gold shade. So Horizon, which I blended into Ruby Skies, and it's just works so well and looks so pretty together. So I think there's so many directions you could take this palette. I like the fact that you've got a red in there because then you can do a bit of a sunset eye using that, and you've got a shade that would blend that red really nicely. So you can go in a lot of different directions. With the blue, obviously, you could then pack as your lid shade or inner corner shade. You could use that blue diamond shade, which I'm eager to try, but that would equally work nicely with that pink or some of these darker pinks. And you guys know I love reds, I love oranges, I love those sort of shades on me, and I love pinks. So not so much a blue fan, but the blues do look beautiful in this, and I do wear blue but not so much, but it's nice to have that option in the palette just to be able to take it in a different way, make it a lot more versatile a palette. And I think Manny's done such a good job of keeping to the Strawberry Dream kind of theme. If you look at the packaging on the front and look at like the detailing in the clouds, where you've got the purpley blues and you've got the pinks, and just that packaging anyway, like the moon sort of coming out almost 3D from the palette. Just absolutely stunning packaging. The palette feels weighty and quality. You've got a nice mirror in there as well. So really impressed so far. The palette cost me £24, half price on Beauty Bay, and for that it's an absolute bargain. So if you see it reduced again, guys, don't sleep on it, jump on it. I think you won't regret it. It's a really nice formula, and it's a formula that's given me the least amount of trouble in any palette that I've used in quite some time, and given me such a nice result. So wholeheartedly recommend it, and I can't wait to get my hands on the Moon Spell if it ever comes back in stock on Beauty Bay. Now I've tried this, I really need to get into his palettes more and buy more of them, I think. So I also picked up the Witch Bitch lipstick, which was the deep red that came out with the Moon Spell collection. So I'll be wearing that soon. I didn't think it went quite so well with this look. It's a very deep blood red liquid lipstick, but the packaging again on that is beautiful, and I'll show you that in another video very soon, as I say. Didn't pick up anything else because the highlight I wanted had sold out, and I need a lighter shade, but the packaging, like that diamondy packaging, is quality again. Everything seems to be really well put together, well thought out, and really nice quality, and I really do appreciate that. So hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you like the look, and maybe it's given you some inspiration of what you could do as a Christmas look, maybe even for daytime, because at Christmas a bit of gold, a bit of sparkle never goes amiss. So I hope it inspired you to do something with similar shades. If you don't have this palette, I'm sure you've got a gold and you've maybe got some burgundies and reds in your collection, so you could create something similar. But I hope you enjoyed watching, guys. If you did, please give this video a like. And if you've made it this far, then thank you very much for doing so. Drop some sort of Christmassy emoji down in the comments, that would be lovely. And that's about it for this one, but hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.